Hi, welcome to AFT-Maryland's Legislative Recap. I'm Ray Baker, Communications Director, and joining me is Denise Riley, the Legislative Director for AFT-Maryland. Denise, thank you so much for making some time to talk with us about AFT-Maryland's legislative priorities.
Thank you for having me.
So a lot has been going on, and we're going to check in throughout the course of the legislative session. But I do want to touch on some things that have been really important in the first 3 weeks. Denise, for state public employees, and particularly for those of us public employees around education, the Kerwin override was vital. Can you tell our members briefly, please, about what just happened when the Senate and the House of the Maryland legislature overrid Governor Hogan's veto of Kerwin?
Well, last year we passed the blueprint for Maryland's future in both houses. Unfortunately, Governor Hogan vetoed the legislation, and we spent all year trying to make sure that we had the votes to override the veto. And I'm happy to report we did do that, and we're very happy about that success.
Given the success of the override, what are some of the changes that will come to the Maryland public school system? Just maybe a thing or two that some of our members and their families can be excited about.
Well, one of the things, we're going to overhaul the education system in Maryland, which will concentrate on early childhood education, career advancement for students, but more significantly, we'll be able to. This will significantly increase the amount of money that will be coming to Baltimore City schools, which will allow the hiring of more teachers and also put teachers on professional salaries that they should be getting.
That's exciting, and I'm glad that you led in with the idea of money, because at the end of the day, so many Marylanders are concerned about how these types of things will be paid for. And that takes us to another set of bills. Some people may have been hearing specifically about a digital sales tax, but broadly this session, our legislators have taken up ideas around full funding and fair funding and ensuring that Maryland has the revenue to fund the various ventures and projects that the state needs to make its citizens better. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those funding bills and some of those packages and revenue packages on the horizon?
Yes, we have AFT-Maryland is a member of the Fair Funding Coalition. And what we are doing is working on a series of bills that will raise revenues for the state. And one of the bills that we were able to get passed was the digital ad sales tax, which was vetoed last year by Governor Hogan, and we overrode that veto. Yay! And again, we had to work all year to make sure we held those votes. But this will target companies like Google and Facebook that make hundreds, if not billions of dollars, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars off of Marylanders using their personal information. So this is a way of ensuring that they're paying their fair share off of the money that they're making off of Maryland citizens.
And that larger money in the pot, I'm assuming, for the state revenue means more money for education, more money for public services, more money for the various agencies that some of our members work in, so they can finally be funded at the levels they need to be in order to provide the high quality service to Marylanders that we want.
You are absolutely correct. A significant amount of money will be going towards education, but also to the revenues that the state needs to hire more people and to pay them higher rates.
And that's important for all of our members across the state federation. Now, lastly, Denise, I'd like for you to touch on something that's really important that's coming, that we're hoping to really see some meaningful traction on. And there are some COVID-related workplace legislation. Can you let our members know about what AFT Maryland is working on in support of some legislators who are putting forth some legislation that will truly impact workers in this age of COVID?
Right. We have AFT-Maryland has introduced a bill this year. It's called Presumptive Language. And basically what it is that when you file for workers' comp, you have to prove that you were hurt or injured or killed on the job. The presumptive language will say essential workers and frontline workers did get COVID on the job, and it will be up to the state to prove that they were exposed someplace else. So the presumption will be on the state, and so that we will help ensure that our members are protected if they get sick or injured or have long-term effects from COVID.
That's fantastic. And we're excited to see the way that this bill makes its way through the legislative session. The next time that you and I get together to do a recap, hopefully you'll have some great news to share with our members about that bill now being law in the state of Maryland. Denise, thanks so much for taking time to keep our members just a little informed on some of the work that AFT-Maryland and their locals are doing on their behalf in Annapolis.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And if you are curious about just exactly what your local's legislative priorities are that Denise is fighting for in Annapolis, we encourage you to contact your local to hear directly from your local leadership about what their legislative priorities are in Annapolis. And AFT Maryland is happy to continue to provide services and work for all members across the state federation.